The leaves of autumn. Fall is a time of melancholy, cold, wet, and bleak. Interesting how the leaves are their most brilliant self just before they die. What does it mean? Here's the scene. An old lady holding a half-empty shopping bag containing all her possession emerges from the earth, and she looks direct into the camera and asks, "Damie, why, Damie?" or something like that, and then disappears back into the ground. Why indeed? It is the way of the world. Our society's constant improvement of ways to discard the old, to sweep away the remnants of the past, to quickly disperse the old and the aged. Old things belong in the museum, and old people belong in the ground. So decree the young. Why indeed? The old, it would seem, has nothing else to offer. The young hand that once rocked your cradle is now old with protruding veins and cracked, dry skin, ugly to look at and less embracing. The old hand is a reminder of the future, and who has time to contemplate the future when the present is so challenging? As the daughters say to her father, "I wish you would just die." Life, I think, is like being on a boat. The young looks forward to the cruise itself, and the old dread coming into port. There is nothing else. The trip is ending. As the old sage would say, if you love money, you will never be satisfied. If you long to be rich, you'll never get all you want. It is useless. The richer you are, the more mouths you have to feed. All you gain is the knowledge that you are rich. A working man may or may not have enough to eat, but at least he can get a good night's sleep. A rich man, however, has so much that he stays awake worrying. Here's the terrible thing I have seen in this world. People save up their money for a time when they may need it, and then lose it all in some bad deal, end up with nothing left to pass on. We leave this world just as we entered it, with nothing. In spite of all our work, there is nothing we can take with us. It isn't right. We go just as we came. We labor trying to catch the wind, and what do we get? We get to live our lives in darkness and grief, worried, angry, and sick. Here's what I have found out. The best thing anyone can do is to eat and drink and enjoy what he has worked for during the short life that God has given him. This is man's fate. If God gives a man wealth and property and lets him enjoy them, he should be grateful and enjoy what he has worked for. It is a gift from God. Since God has allowed him to be happy, he will not worry too much how short life is. Solomon also said, and I quote, "Everyone who lives ought to be wise. It is as good as receiving an inheritance and will give you as much security as money can. Wisdom keeps you safe. This is the advantage of knowledge." Ecclesiastes 7:11. 7:11, lucky numbers. At the risk of repeating myself, which, by the way, is one of the attributes of being old, repeating one's self. Here's the thing. The old has a lot to offer in the realm of wisdom. Some people go against the flow of friends and society and cling to their aged relatives. They embrace them as precious gems and hearken to their wisdom. They talk of their nanas and their papas with respect and admiration, and sincerely, honestly, with all their heart, want their old folks to be close, to be near, as long as possible. Others, of course, just wish the old folks would just die.